I'm going to show you something most creators are completely missing. And I'm going to show it to you live right now, right here in real time. Let me play the video for you.
Tacoma Bridge, Washington, opened only a few months ago, was built at a cost of over $6 million. But misfortune overtakes the great structure. These are some of the most amazing pictures ever recorded by a newsreel. The actual collapse of the world's third largest suspension bridge. Only a 35-mile-an-hour wind is blowing, but this apparently sets up a rhythmic swinging of the bridge, which increases with each swing. Finally, the swinging road and the suspension cables give way and plunge into the water below. Fortunately, the only casualties were a car stalled on the bridge and a dog.
Okay, let me share this tab instead. I think every single person like you, like me, who are a creator, we have, let's say, built something that moved in a wind and that the wind did not take into account for. So really today, I want that we learn all together how to find that wind before the bridge phase. Okay. Really today we are living in an era of what I would say AI hallucination and fatigue, and stories that feel really hollow, and content that sounds like everyone else, like we are in a kind of echo chamber of a chatterbox where everybody are saying the same thing because it was built without really a factual anchor. This is something that is really important. And most people today really are not using NotebookLM in the right way. If you haven't heard about NotebookLM, so NotebookLM is an AI tool that was built by Google. And the aim of this AI tool is really to help you be grounded in the document that you provided. I think most people think that NotebookLM is just for students, a research tool, a summariser, or maybe kind of an academic thing. And there is more to NotebookLM than what really more people think. And really, they are not using the most powerful, let's say, capability of NotebookLM, which is that it is grounded. And we will use this grounded power of NotebookLM today to show you how to tell better stories using the storytelling engine of 2026, which is NotebookLM, and then will make you really playing to win and to be connected with your audience and to not lost visibility. Here's the real problem before we get to NotebookLM. I think most of the creators today are being flagged like AI Slop. All the things that we are creating, most of us, it is something that feels like it was created by AI. Not because we use AI all the time, but because we use it without a grounding layer. What I mean that is that we can use AI to help us create, but we should not use AI just to repeat what other people are already saying or what other AI tools are already saying. This is something that is really important to focus on. And your content has to be unique to have really a kind of your fingerprints, if you see what I mean. And nothing that really couldn't have been written by anyone, like something that comes from your guts, from the reality of who you really, the reality of who you really are. I mean, the cost is really double when you are using AI or on the wrong way, is that most people don't see you like someone who is really authentic. you lose your human trust. You lose AI search ranking also, because you are only repeating what have already been said. You are not giving a unique perspective, something new that AI haven't said already. And also it's something that that is really making you a lot of penalties. The trap is really has the name, so this is called what I call the summary trap. So most of the people who are using NotebookLM, I will explain a little bit later what NotebookLM. You are using it just to ask AI to help, and then after it gives you a summary. Maybe you are doing the same with ChatGPT or Claude. I'm a big user of Claude and Gemini. I'm using it the same way. There is really no protagonist in the stories that you are telling using AI. There is no conflict, and there is really no reason to care. And as humans, the way we connect to other people through storytelling is that we have some stories who have protagonists, some character that we follow, and we have some conflict which is created all along the story. We have transformation, and that connection is what makes us care about other people's stories. This is exactly what we are doing today here, and this is exactly what we are fixing today. What I'm showing you today is really a grounded storytelling workflow. Is to not use NotebookLM as a research tool. Is to not use NotebookLM as just a chatterbox where you ask it something and it will give you some answer. I will show you how you can use NotebookLM to as your storytelling engine, and which is grounded. It's the same tool that everybody is using, but with completely different intent. And intent is really what will make the difference between you and the other people. Okay, let me show you directly what NotebookLM is. So here is my screen. You can see here. There are many tools and tutorials on NotebookLM on YouTube. I really encourage you, if you want to learn more how to use NotebookLM, to search for those information on YouTube. I will go very quickly here to explain how it works. You can find more tutorials on YouTube. You have three panels in NotebookLM. So this is the first panel, the left panel. So this is where you put all your sources. Then here is the chat space. This is really where you have the space where you do your prompting, you exchange with the AI. And here is kind of your studio. As you can see, you can create a lot of things. You can create audio overviews, you can create slide decks, you can create video overviews. And the power really is that everything that you create here is based on the sources that you have here. This is really what makes it powerful. Then here you can see that my notebook is already populated with some sources. And the challenge that I will show you today is how I will use NotebookLM to tell a story about why bridges collapse. It's pure engineering. It's not only dry reports. I will use the data, and then after I will tell a story purposefully. This is the power of storytelling. Okay. Now what we will do is that I will show you. I have already prepared some prompts. I will show you some prompts that I will use in NotebookLM, and I will use my storytelling framework to be able to tell a story inside the bridge collapse data. Here I have gathered a lot of data here from different sources. Let's try to tell a story about all those different sources. Let's start with the first prompt. Here I have already prepared the prompts in advance. This is the first prompt. Most of the time what people do is just they do like this. So here is the prompt chat. I will put here a simple thing that most people do. Summarize the key point from those documents. Let's put it in NotebookLM and see what will happen. This is live, as you can see. I let NotebookLM do its magic. You can see that here it is thinking, it is explaining its thought process, and here you have the answer. Engineering failures and structural design, Tacoma Narrow Bridge, Morandi Viaduct, other notable failures, the psychology, decision-making and risk, the Dunning-Kruger effect, project pre-mortem, Black Swan events, human rights and archival evidence. You can see really here that this is just a summary, and this is the summary strap. That is really what 90% of creators are doing. And this is exactly why their content sound like everyone else, because they use the same technique, the same prompts that everybody else is using. Same notebook, same sources, not a single change. And watch what happens when the prompt has story architecture. So here I will choose the second prompt that you can see here. And the second prompt is, you are, I don't know if you can see it here. I will try to zoom a little bit. I will close the sources page because we don't need it. Here, you are a master storyteller writing for a creator audience that is exhausted by generated AI content. Use only the sources I have uploaded. Identify. So set the stage. What is the world the audience already lives in? T as trigger. What disrupts the status quo? What tension exists? Offer. What solution or path forward does the data suggest? Reveal what obstacle makes the solution non-obvious. Do not summarize. Find the story architecture inside the data. Let me put the second prompt here, the same data. For sure, you will find all the prompts that I'm using in this video in the links below on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Okay, I put it here. I send the same thing. The only thing that I have changed is the prompt. Everything else is the same. So here it's thinking again. We'll let it think. You see that I'm writing a prompt using the storytelling framework. Here it is giving me setting the stage, triggering a need, offering a solution, revealing obstacle. Here you can see that there are a lot of words. So what I will do is that I will ask it to make it in less than let's say maybe 90 words. I will use a whisper flow to talk to the AI. Make it in less than 90 words. Whisper Flow AI is a tool that you can use. Instead of typing, you directly have a function in your keyboard, and you click on that function on your keyboard, and then you can dictate what you are writing to the AI. It's really something that for me has changed my life. I was, let's say, typing maybe 40 words per minute because I'm a very slow typer. And by using Whisper Flow and speaking the words to my computer, I'm like averaging like 140 or 150 words per minute. Coming back to the story, here you see that the AI is really giving me the story bits. So set the stage. We inhabit a world where ignorance most frequently benefits confidence more than knowledge. Trigger on it. Attention up to catastrophic anomalies like the 1940 Tacoma Narrows collapse, violently shatter or meticulously flawed model. Offer a solution. we must employ prospective hindsight, so a project pre-mortem, operating on the assumption a project has already failed spectacularly to unearth hidden vulnerabilities, reveal the true obstacle is our mind. Our own incompetence robs us of the metacognitive ability to recognize our fatal errors. Here you see already the difference, which is quite striking from what we had before. So now it's your turn. I would like to ask you, what's one piece of content you have published already that you wish had been more grounded in real data? And what stopped you doing the research? You can drop it in the chat below. I always read all the chats and the messages that you send on the chat. Feel free to put it in the chat below, either during this live or if you are watching this on replay. Now, let's move to the studio panel. This is really where the skeleton got built. And here in the studio panel, we will, let's say, try a different prompt. The prompt number 3, this one. I am using a different prompt. Use the sources in the notebook, map the content into the story tab narrative arc. So this is the story for each bit. Cite the specific source that supports it. No bit should exist without a citation. So this I can use. I will copy. And here what I will do is that I will go in the chat here. Oh, let's try something different. We go back from the note. Here I can create different things. I will create an audio overview here, but I will customize it. You see that in NotebookLM, you can customize the audio overview. Here I will really use my prompt to create a very specific way to tell the story. Use the source notes in this notebook, map the content you see here. You can use default options to create an audio, kind of a podcast way of having things. So here I will use it differently to generate the audio. Then here I will have an audio asset that we can listen to afterwards. While it's creating the audio, I will pass it also here. And now that I know that it will make a long story, I will ask it to make it in less than 150 words. We let it work its magic. And what is interesting in NotebookLM is that each time you have something which is quoted, you can click here and you will see from which source it is deriving its information. The sources are noted here. So here is 1, here is 2, here is 3, 4, 5, and 6. This means that the AI tool is grounded in the information you provided. It will only generate content based on the information you provided. That is what we say when we say it is grounded. I let it work its magic here. Let's see what it's providing us for this more compelled storytelling framework. Here, I'm using all the bits of the storytelling framework. Let's see, set the stage. We exist where ignorance breeds overconfidence. The unskilled lack the metacognitive skill to recognize their own flaw. I will close here just to make it a little bit bigger. So you have here story tab. T has triggers in it, but catastrophic failure violently shatters this illusion, like the Tahakoma narrow bridge collapsing because designer blindly overextended theory. Or offer a solution. Therefore, we must employ a project pre-mortem, assuming a project has already failed to unearth hidden vulnerabilities are as revealed obstacles, but our minds naturally fixate on dramatic black swan anomalies while ignoring quite cumulative risk-like fatigue. Y has illuminated the path. Therefore, the true breakthrough is gaining actual competence, explicit training grants us the metacognitive ability to spot our fatal errors. T as transformation, therefore, we transform from blissfully ignorant to sharply calibrated. But this requires aggressively, this is the action, what we should do as an end user, but this requires aggressively studying our failures rather than hiding them. P as impact, therefore, we will avert disaster using perspective insight to build that survive reality. It's the same bit, and it's something that is completely different. You can see that every single bit is anchored to real sources. Nothing is hallucinated, nothing came from nowhere. Everything is grounded on the source. You are not writing yet. You are just building the bones that the writing will hang on. So you are building the skeleton. This is really the grounded architecture path. This is what will make your content different, because everything that you will generate with NotebookLM is grounded in the sources that you provided. You can provide it, for instance, all your writing articles, all the articles that you have written, and then after you can generate new content based on the articles that you have written. You can also give it your writing style, and in the prompt part, where you in the studio part, you can ask it to write a blog part using your brand voice, or you can ask it even to use, let's say, your brand visuals and brand guide. In the meantime, let me check if the audio is finished. I will just refresh a little bit. So the audio is still ongoing. Let's move to the next step. Here you can see that we have the structure. Now we find the gaps. The moments were logic and sound for sure, but there is something that we are missing really, and what we are missing really in this story that I shared with you is what I call the empathy. Empathy meaning how we tell a story so that we can connect to other people, something that is really important. Let me give you another example of a prompt that we will use. I will go here. I will close this part. Here is the prompt number 4. This one, we will use it to generate a video, a cinematic video from NotebookLM. The prompt number 4, the edit for empathy path. Read the above story tab draft carefully for each of the steps. Okay. Check. Is the logic present but the human emotion missing? Where does it inform but not move? Make each emotional gap with emotion gap, step, etc. For each gap, suggest a sensory detail that puts the reader in the scene, a question that makes the reader feel seen, an emotional truth the data implies but not say out loud. Do not rewrite, only identify and suggest the human layer is mine to add. Okay, let's try this one. I think I have missed something here. Copy. Let's paste it here. Let's hit send. Here you will see really the difference. Why it is working, I will launch those two prompts here. This one and this one. I will copy them. I will go back to the studio. Because it is taking time, I will create a video overview. And here I will create a cinematic one. And here I will put everything that the same prompt. I will just remove this one. Okay. I'm mixing prompt 3 and 4. I will not say read this carefully, because in this prompt, I will just say for each of the steps, check is the logic present, but emotion, etc. I will send this to generate a video here. And here NotebookLM will generate a video. This is really the power of NotebookLM. Coming back to the prompt with the empathy gap, here you can see that here is the emotional audit of the story tab draft, identifying where logic informs but lacks the human heartbeat, along with suggestion to bridge the gap. You can already see here how NotebookLM, with the right prompt, is criticizing your story, which already have all the bits, and suggesting some improvements based on what you yourself have created. You can use this on a story that you have created, and using the same prompt, check whether or not in your story you have emotion, you are creating empathy to build that bridge from you as a storyteller and your audience as listeners. Empathy gap, set the stage, observation. The bit is highly analytical and psychological, metacognitive still. It explains the learning curve effect, but doesn't make the reader feel it. Suggestion. Okay, it's giving me a suggestion. A question that makes the reader feel seen. Have you ever been absolutely certain you are nailing a task, only to realize moments later that you are completely embarrassed yourself? You see that already here is giving me a hook and connecting with my audience, which was lacking in the initial story. So T has triggered the need. Observation. Violently shatter is a strong phrase, but blindly over-extended theory is dry engineering speak. It lacks visceral shock. Suggestion, a sensory detail that puts the reader in the scene. The terrifying rhythmic groan of steel twisting like a ribbon in the wind, realizing that the match you trusted with your life is tearing itself apart. Empathy gap. Step O as offer. Observation. Employ a project postmortem sounds like a procedural corporate agenda. I agree with that. As someone who is working here at corporate France, I will not say corporate America because I'm living in France. It misses the emotional relief that this tool provides to a team. Suggestion, an emotional truth that data implies but never says out loud. We are all secretly relieved when an exercise finally makes it safe to voice the fatal flaw we were too terrified of looking foolish to bring up in the kickoff meeting. R as reveal obstacles. Observation. It logically explains our cognitive bias toward black swans versus cumulative risk, but it ignores why we look the other way. Suggestion, an emotional truth that the data implies but never said out loud. It is deeply comforting to blame a catastrophic failure on a highly improbable freak black swan event because it absolves us of the guilt to slowly and silently neglecting the rust eating away at our own foundation. Step Y, illuminate the path. Observation, explicit training grants us the metacognitive ability is clinical. It misses the painful but necessary sting of realizing you are wrong. A sensory detail that puts the reader in the scene. The sudden hot flush of embarrassment creeping your neck, the exact moment your new training allows you to see how badly you botched it in the first time. Like I'm botching my English speaking right now. T as transformation, observation, sharply calibrated is a term for a machine or an instrument, not a human being underlining a vulnerable transition. Suggestion, A question that makes the reader feel seen. Can you remember the painful but liberating moment you trade the fragile comfort of faking it for the quiet, heavy responsibility of actually knowing? Step A as action, observation. Aggressively studying our failures rather than hiding them is sound advice, but it ignores the heavy burden of shame associated with this step. Suggestion, an emotional truth that data implies but never says out loud. Our natural impulse is to sweep our biggest mistakes under the rug because our ego is terrified of the autopsy. The last one, P as impact, observation. Build systems that survive reality is intellectually satisfying, but it doesn't give the reader a feeling to walk away. Suggestion here, a sensory detail that puts the reader in the scene, the quiet, steady calm of standing on a bridge in a howling 60-mile-per-hour wind, knowing that it will hold because you already stared its worst-case scenario in the face. This is really what emotion is all about. This is where the content inform but also move people. This is where you create structure, you bring the soul in your story. This is really the 10% that makes the other 90% matter. You can see that NotebookLM gave us the structure, now we give it the soul, the part really that makes a story memorable. And stories can be remembered 22 times longer than a fact. That is the power of release, that is the power of storytelling. I'm checking if it has finished generating the audio. I would like to share with you the audio here. Maybe I should have created it before. And this is really why it is generating. This is really where you come in. I have packaged, as I said, all those 4 prompts into one storytelling prompter pack. I will have it in the links below, and link is in the description. And really, I will share it with you, pin it in the chat on YouTube and YouTube, and also LinkedIn. Maybe today you came here as a prompt engineer. You think that, okay, I know how to use NotebookLM. I'm using all the power of AI, yet my content does not feel genuine. My content does not feel authentic. My content does not bring emotion. Here, what I have shared with you is ways that will make you really better than just a prompt engineer. You are really leaving this session from being a prompt engineer to being transformed, pun intended, as a ground architect. Your content is really now citation ready. AI search will index it, and it will be human approved, because the way you structure your stories bit by bit is the way AI will answer to user question by citing your content. So make sure that you are doing it this way. Let me check one more time if the content is still there. It's still not there. I call myself a griot from it's a Senegalese tradition. The griot, in fact, was the most powerful person in the village. Not the chief, not the warrior, the one who controls the story. And I will share one of the best quotes that resonate with me and that I'm sharing with every people about the power of story from an African, Senegalese, Afropian perspective. And it goes like this. Until the lion learns to write, every story will glorify the hunter. I will repeat it again. Until the lion learns to write, every story will glorify the hunter. if you don't know how to tell your story, other people will tell your story for you, and they will be the winners in your story. I hope that today, with this exercise, you have learned how to write by leveraging the capabilities of AI. By using AI, you are building the skeleton, a very strong skeleton, and then you use your own human touch to put the meat in the bones, if I can put it figuratively. Let me check one more time. If still not there. Next time we can go a level deeper. Really, today I have showed you how you can use NotebookLM more powerfully, how you can use it to generate work which is even more powerful, and when you apply it to your own story, not on someone else's data. This is really something that is really important. I will check one more time to see. Maybe I should have created it before. So before we go, I will leave you just with one question, which is, what's one piece of content you have published recently and that you wish had been more grounded in real data? And really, what stopped you from doing the research? Let me know in the comment section below. I read every comment. As always, if you found value on this content, you can subscribe to my newsletter. So it is in the links below, and if you don't have it, it's storytap.substack.com. And until then, see you next time. Thank you and bye. Stop.